Alright, a lot of junior developers often complain that JavaScript is a bit complex and difficult to understand. Now, over time, I've discovered that during the learning process, most JavaScript developers, especially self-taught ones, often leave out lexical structure. They think it's not that important, so they jump right into variables, objects, and stuff like that. Now, later on, they start having errors as a result of their poor knowledge of the lexical structure of JavaScript, and this makes JavaScript a lot more difficult to these developers. Hi, I'm Leo and welcome to School.me. In this video, we'll be going over the lexical structure of JavaScript. Alright guys, at the end of this tutorial, if you think the video was helpful, please hit the like button, and if you have anything to say, just leave a comment, and if you're new, please consider subscribing for more updates. Alright, we start with the lexical structure. Now basically the lexical structure is the lowest level syntax of a particular language. Now, it is the set of elementary rules that specifies how to write program in that language. Now, the first thing to note with JavaScript is it is case sensitive. Here I have three statements: my variable, my variable, my variable, but in JavaScript they all mean different things. Now, next up is every statement ends with a semicolon. Although you can omit the semicolon between two statements if the statements are written on separate lines. But to reduce the risk of errors, it is advised to end all your statements with a semicolon. Now, next up is some attributes are actually written in lowercase letters only, like your on click, and white space, line breaks, format control characters, they are all ignored unless it is part of a string of text and enclosed in quotes. Alright, next up we'll go to some basic terms that you need to know before using JavaScript. Alright, we'll start with statements. Now, a script is made up of a series of statements. Now, a statement is a command that tells the browser what to do, and like I said before, every statement must end with a semicolon. Now, next up is comments. Now, these are statements used by a developer to explain part of his code. Now, this is very useful, especially when this code is to be edited by another developer, and JavaScript ignores these statements. It does not execute them. Now, there are two types of statements, and there are two ways of adding them to your code. Now, the first one is called single line comments. Now, this single line comment it must be on a single line, and you start with 2//. Now, the next one is the multi-line comments. Now, this is very common in CSS, and you put your /, the universal selector, and then you type in all your explanations, and then you end it with another universal selector followed by a /. Alright, next is identifiers. Now, an identifier is simply a name. Now, in JavaScript, identifiers are used to name variables, functions, and to produce labels for certain loop in your JavaScript code. Now, when giving this name, there are three things to note. The first one is that an identifier must begin with either a letter, an underscore, or a $sign, and nothing else. Your numbers cannot be the first character of an identifier. Now, the second one is what I just said. Now, this enables JavaScript to differentiate between numbers and identifiers. Now, the third one is that JavaScript reserves certain identifiers for use by itself. Now, there are certain words that you cannot use as your identifier because it is also being used by JavaScript. Now, these include words like break, case, catch, continue, and everything on this page. Now, if you're interested, you can comment and I'll snap this page and put it in the description. Alright, next is literals. Now, a literal is a data value that appears directly in a program. Now, this could be your numbers, it could be whole numbers or decimals. It could also be a string of text like hello world, hi. It could be your boolean values like the true and false. It could also be object initializers, array initializers. It could also be other things like your null and just any data value that you find on JavaScript. Alright, thanks guys for watching, and don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you in my next video where I'll start with recognizing the parts of a script, which is the first step to understanding modern JavaScript. Now, these parts include your variables, arrays, comparison operators, if slash else statements, loops, functions, and other things. Alright, thanks and have a lovely day.